Welcome to Reel Filmmaking. My name is Corey, and today I'm happy to be talking about a great light for filmmaking and for YouTube, and that is the Sutefoto P100 RGB light. So full disclaimer, Sutefoto did send this light out to me for review, but they haven't seen this video, I'm not being paid to say anything, and everything you'll hear in this video are my honest thoughts and opinions about this light, the things I like and the things I don't like. The Sutefoto P100 RGB light it's kind of a mouthful, but it's good, is an 100-watt light that has access to any color on the spectrum. Because it's RGB, that means it has a bicolor functionality, so if you're looking for more of a daylight, if you're looking for more of a cool tone, if you're looking for more of a warm light, it can do it for you. It can also get you any color on the RGB spectrum, which is great. This light comes in at $230 as of me recording this video. Taking a look at this light, you can see that it's got a nice padded case that has a place for you to put the light stand. It's got handles right here where you can grip it. It's got a shoulder strap. And it's got nice rubber feet on the bottom so you can set it down someplace firm. And I really love and appreciate companies that will package cases with their lights, because sometimes you'll buy a light and then you have no way to transport it, so then you have to buy a case for it, and that's a hassle. It's just really nice when it comes all in one package. So way to go, Sutefoto. Opening the case, you will find a reflector that's a Bowens Mount. You'll find the power adapter, an extra power cord, some Velcro to hold it to the light stand, and then you'll have the light itself. Now, the Sutefoto P100 RGB light is kind of following in this trend that I've been seeing in a lot of chip-on board lights, or cob lights for short, and that is like making them as small as possible, small and compact. And I'm not mad about it. That's a great thing. If something is smaller and can still deliver great quality and it's less that I have to carry around, then I'm all for it. And I love the compact size of this light. In terms of build quality, the light is made of all plastic, but I honestly kind of think it must be some plastic composite, because it feels stronger than just like the cheap plastic that I know a lot of other lights are made out of. It feels really solid in the hand. It's got a nice sturdy yoke, which is a huge thing that a lot of these cheaper lights run into. You know, I really prefer the yoke to be metal or something stronger than plastic, but it feels like a stronger plastic, and all the testing I've done with it, the yoke hasn't done anything to scare me. It's nice, the yoke also has teeth on it, so you can tilt it like multiple angles, and it feels really solid in the build quality department. So like I mentioned, the light comes with a power supply, and a thing I really like about this power supply is it's actually a decent size, like the length of cable. Like you get the power supply and then you have the longer cable, and just spitballing, I mean, I'm horrible with measurements, but I think it's probably about 20-ish feet, which is a good distance for when you're setting up and you can get it up on a light stand and it's not, you know, gonna be pulling taut and you're gonna be in danger of tripping over it while you're filming. So I really appreciate that. A really cool feature about this light is it can be powered by Sony NPF batteries. Now this is something actually I'd seen in other Sutefoto lights and other smaller lights, that you can buy like a battery plate adapter and then you can hook that up to it. This light has the battery plates just built into the sides, and I think that is such a great idea. It's really great innovation. So that means I can bring my Sony NPF batteries, slide them into the side, and I can go portable with this light. You know, I can take it outside, I can not have to worry about finding power and extension cord. The light only allows you to run it at 80%, but 80% is still a lot of light. Another great thing to mention is this light has a Bowens mount, which is really good because Bowens mount is kind of the universal lighting mount. Some lighting companies, like when they produce their smaller lights, as I've seen, will have kind of proprietary different mounts that you can usually get like a Bowens adapter, but it's just another piece of gear that you have to bring with you. And so I really appreciate that this light just has a Bowens mount, so all of the lighting stuff that I have already fits into it. I don't have to worry about an adapter. I don't have to worry about like, oh, I need to get the specific Sutefoto softbox. It's just everything is good to go. So I really like that. That's a very pro consumer move to just use kind of the standard for lighting. In terms of brightness, this light is very bright. It's 100 watts, so that is a lot of power. That's a lot of light. And another thing I really enjoy about this light is it's dimmable all the way down to 1%. With some of these cheaper lights, I've seen that they go down to 10% and then they just shut off. I really appreciate that you can dim it down to like 1 or 2% and have just like that nice, soft, controlled glow, because sometimes you really need like a softer amount of light. You don't need 10%. You really need it to like be able to step down in increments, and so that is another huge pro for this light. Another thing that is great about this light is it is controllable by Bluetooth. So Sutefoto has an app that you can download, and then you have access to doing everything with this light, and it's really great. Honestly, the app is the preferred way to control this light. If you have multiple lights from Sutefoto, you can actually link them up and control all of them together in this one app. Now, without the smartphone app to control the lights, the back panel of the P100 RGB is honestly kind of one of the negatives I have against this light. It's, you know, it's easy enough to turn stuff on and to see what stuff is labeled as, but it's kind of difficult to dial in the settings that you want specifically in the realm of RGB. You know, with the bicolor settings, it's easy enough to say I want it warmer or cooler, but when you're really trying to dial in, like I want this color of purple, like in my background, I know I messed with it a lot on the back of the light, and I could never get it quite exactly how I wanted, but when I pulled up the app, I was able to literally do it in like 5 seconds. So I would say the functionality of the back panel is not great. It's, you know, it suffices if you only have it. Just be prepared that you're probably gonna get a little bit more frustrated and struggle with that if you plan on using that and not the smartphone app. So once you open the smartphone app and you look through it, you have 4 different modes of what you can control in the light. You have the CCT mode, which is kind of your white light mode. So if you want something that's a warmer white light or a cooler white light, that's the mode you go to. You have an HSI mode, which allows you to choose any color. You get the color wheel on your phone, and then you can select which color that you want. You have the RGB CW mode, which is another way that you can dial in colors. It's like red, blue, green. And the 4th mode that you have is the effects mode, which, you know, as we all know, most lighting companies include this. You know, you have stuff like lightning and police siren and ambulance and campfire and thunderstorm and, you know, faulty bulb, but it's pretty standard effects that you'd find in most lights around this price point. Now, I've talked a lot of specs about the light because I want you to know the specs. Just lights are better for me when I use them personally, kind of get to see what's going on with them. And I want to show you some examples. Okay, so for this first example that I want to show you is how you can use this light portably and on location. So I decided to make like a little quick short film montage type thing, and I went outside and set up my camera and the light at night, and as you can see, it gets pretty bright. So I did a couple different quick setups, kind of was doing a little short film about me running, and I was really impressed with how bright it was. I was able to easily get my shots. So take a look, tell me what you think. Alright, so I'm here with another example of using this light. I have a traditional interview setup going on back here. Hannah graciously offered to be my model for this mock interview. I don't really know what we're interviewing her about, but I want to show you that I've got the P100 RGB right here as my main key light. I've got a small softbox on it. It's like a smaller one. And then I have a small fill light over here to fill in this part of her face.
I really got into baking between my junior and senior year in high school, actually, so it's been quite a while.
Who is your baking inspiration?
I think I gotta say Cupcake Gemma.
Cupcake Gemma?
She's a YouTuber with an incredible bakery in the London area, and everything she makes looks so delicious.
So all in all, I've shared a lot of details about this light, giving you kind of some personal examples. Like, who would I recommend this light for? If you are just getting into YouTube or filmmaking and you're looking at how to invest your money, one of the biggest things that I would say, and I know a lot of other filmmakers and YouTubers say, is don't always go for the most expensive camera. Save some of that money and invest in lighting. And so if you're looking at a good first light to get, the Sutefoto P100 RGB is a great light to get. The functionality that it's bicolor, that you can get any white light temperature that you want, that it's also RGB, so it can be versatile in a lot of different situations. I think it's worth the investment. Because usually kind of how it starts is like you get one light and then a little bit later you get another light. And so having lights that kind of do specific roles is very helpful. So for me, I have a couple just daylight balance lights, and then having a light that I can dedicate to being an RGB light is super helpful. So for that reason, I'd say it's a really good light to have in your toolkit, and it's a light that you can grow with. I love the app control, it's very helpful. I love the Sony NPF battery thing. Like, you've probably noticed I've brought that up multiple times in this video. That is so clutch. It's really good. It's very helpful. Negatives, some downsides like I've mentioned. I don't think the back panel is super intuitive. That's not a huge issue because you can use the smartphone app. So just always use the smartphone app and then you won't have to deal with the back panel. And then the other major thing was kind of like the build quality of the yoke being plastic. The yoke does have teeth on it, which is really good. You can turn it all different directions, but I would have loved to see, like, you know, a heavy duty material for the yoke. So all in all, I think this is a great light. If you have $230 that you're looking at investing in lights, I would say definitely go for this one. I know that can kind of feel like a hurdle when you're first getting into lights, and there definitely are cheaper lights if you just want a daylight balanced light, you know, that's totally fine. But if you have the extra money and you're looking for something that kind of is more long-term that you can grow with, I think this is a really good light. I hope you found this review helpful. I know it's been really fun for me to spend some time with this light, get to use it in a couple different contexts, and I think you will enjoy it. Subscribe to Reel Filmmaking for more content coming on cameras, gear, creative process, filmmaking, all that stuff. And until next time, keep making movies and watching movies, and I'll see you on Reel Filmmaking.